Welcome, Tailgate Legends. It is your commissioner, Kaiser here. I want to do a video before the rookie draft. And yeah, just kind of talk about some things that I do, with rookies. It's, before I get into that, it's been a crazy off season. Um, I feel like, especially in the off season, but I do feel like my favorite part of being in a dynasty league is trades. Um, they're s- they're just super fun. Like I've said it before. Listen, if you're going to give me a first rounder or you're going to give me a good player, I will trade pretty much anything. If I feel like it's like even value, I will trade pretty much anything. Now I know some of you haters out there are like, "Oh, well, you're just rip everybody off." Well, I apparently ripped everybody off because I trade with every player in this league. But it is genuinely just like one of my favorite parts of being in a dynasty league. I traded for the first overall pick, but I traded three first rounders. I traded for Stephon Diggs, which I'm still like real iffy on. And my trading days are not over before the season starts. I have a lot of really good players, and one thing I really try to focus on, especially going into a rookie draft. Before I get to the rookie draft, one thing I really focus on is what does my starting lineup look like right now, and what do I want my starting lineup to look like coming into the season? That's a huge question for any team, because you have to ask yourself, am I in a rebuild or am I a competitor? You know what I mean? That's a huge bearing on the decisions you make. So, for me, I do feel like I'm a competitor. I traded for Stephon Diggs. He's a rental. He's not just a rental, he's an expensive rental. I made the trade because, well, I feel like he can help me win a championship. Um, somebody like, I don't know, a team that I feel like is real, could be a competitor, could be a rebuild, would be Prusky. And I've talked to Prusky about this a little bit, but um, you know, Prusky's team could go either way. He could either be uh, trading for young talent, trading for picks, or he'd be trading for players, to boost his team. But right now, the last month or two, this is where you need to really make these decisions. Hey, what does my team look like? And the reason you have to make these decisions now is because, these rookie picks have a lot of they have a lot of bearing on, and they have a lot of impact on your team, either whether you trade a pick or you take the pick and you pick a player. Um, Everybody here knows I do trade for a lot of first rounders, and I also trade away a lot of first rounders. It's just the way that the cycle of my team works, I guess, where I'm in the middle of the season, and like this year, I have a great starting lineup right now. Well, you want to know who's going to be sitting on my bench is Hollywood Brown, Christian Watson, John Mechie, uh, Damian Pierce, Javante Williams. They're all bench players right now. So I'm going to be sitting in the middle of the season just asking myself, well, do I want to just have these great players sitting on my bench, or do I want to trade them for picks or other players? Probably not other players, because then they'd be sitting on my bench. But yeah, that's just kind of the way it goes. And, these are a lot of decisions that have to be made or should be made. They don't have to be made anytime, actually, but they should be made before the rookie draft. So that's going to segue into my only segment here, um, which is these are just guidelines, rules, and guidelines that I follow going into a rookie draft. Um, I know that everybody here is in the same boat that I am. I love the rookie draft. It is my absolute favorite time of the year, unless I'm winning a championship, is the rookie draft. And I know there's a few teams out there that want it earlier, a few teams out there that want it later. I generally like it a little bit later, but yeah, there are times where I do get impatient and I do get antsy, and I want it to be sooner. But I just think for the sake of the league and all the teams, I do think it's a little bit better to have it a little bit later. Um, I have it scheduled right now for June 30th. That's when we're going to have it. That's right in the wheelhouse of when we've been having it. I'm trying to split the difference between, the owners that want it early and the owners that want it late. So June 30th, I've been having it like the first week of July. That was when I was, I was in a different role at my job where I got the first week of July off. That's not the case anymore. I actually have a shit ton of work to do the first week of July, so that doesn't work a ton, great for me, but neither here nor there. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to go through some rules, guidelines that I genuinely follow. This isn't like a ploy to trick somebody into trading me anything. This is just the rookie draft. It's a fickle bitch. You can get like a lot of picks. You're going to get burned. A lot of picks, like a majority of these picks, you're getting burned. And every rookie draft, that's just the way it is. Stats don't lie, but if you're good at drafting, you can really get some diamonds in the rough. You can get, you can just get studs that are in really good positions. And, drafting rookies is not that easy. And I have fucked up my fair share of rookie picks, trust me. But I've hit on quite a few as well. And, that it really does make or break your entire team because you're getting these players so cheap. So here we go. I'm going to go through. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have five guidelines to follow when it comes to the rookie draft. So I hope you enjoy it. Number one, and this is like number one for me. Well, maybe not number one, but this is really the first lesson. The first lesson that I really learned when doing rookie draft. And Boggs and I shared a dynasty team a long time ago. He and I, we learned this lesson together. That lesson is, and you really got to hear me out, no tight ends in the first round. Ever. Okay? So it's super ironic because this is a great tight end class, this rookie draft. But there have been good rookie classes or rookie tight end classes before. And I mean rookie tight ends. Long time ago, there was Lance Kendricks and Kyle Rudolph. They were both first round picks in the NFL. So Boggs and I probably had, I want to say we had like the 10th overall pick. We had a late first rounder. And we were like, well, we're going to take Lance Kendricks. He went to the Rams in the first round. He was a great Badger, if anybody remembers. Like, it was like, well, it was like, shooting fish in a barrel to us. Honestly, it was like shooting fish in a barrel. We were like, well, we're just going to take Lance Kendricks. Obviously. Well, obviously, take Lance Kendricks. Kyle Rudolph goes, I don't know, in the late second round or some shit. And Lance Kendricks and Kyle Rudolph, both, like for fantasy purposes, are complete busts. So you go through, X amount of seasons, and it's like, holy fuck. None of these tight ends, like none of these tight ends pan out that are supposed to pan out in, from the, when you look at first round rookie draft picks, you know what I mean? As far as I know, Boggs has not repeated this mistake. I have repeated this mistake with O.J. Howard. Remember, O.J. Howard was a first-round pick in the NFL, very hyped up and blah, 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 blah. He's supposed to be the next coming of fucking Jesus, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I took O.J. Howard in the first round, I don't know, 5 years ago or so. Fucking bust. Just a bust. So, and then a few years ago, 2 years ago, Kyle Pitts goes in the first round, 5th overall pick in our league. He was a 5th overall pick, or 4th overall pick. Yeah, he was a 4th overall pick. And thus far has been a huge bust. Again, like every fucking first round tight end. So the first rule that I have is no tight ends in the first round, no matter what. No matter what. And I've learned my lesson a couple different times. No tight ends in the first round. That's it. Done. All right. Second guideline to follow. The last pick of the first round, right, pick 12, is worth less perceptionally. Perception? Yeah. Via the market perception. The last pick of the first round is worth significantly less than the first pick of the second round. That's a fact. That is an absolute fact. I'm looking at it right now. Burns owns the first pick of the second round. He is never trading that pick. Never trading that pick. Ever. And it's one pick after Roofer's pick. Roofer has the 12th pick of the first round. And you want to know who I bet is probably pretty willing to give up the 12th pick? Roofer. Yeah. And I'm not saying he's just going to give it away. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying from a trying to pry picks from people, the 12th pick of the first round is always the easiest. Always. Third rounders are obviously easy because those are just throw-ins to, whatever trade. But, even second rounders, even late second rounders, it's like, well, I'm getting good value. I'm getting good value here. Okay, nobody at the end of the first round is getting good value on anything. You're spending a first round pick for shit is what you're doing in the first round. Now you take him at the first pick of the second round. Well, I'm getting good value. Getting really good value on this player. So go after the late first rounders. I mean, shit, I've traded away my fair share of late first rounders, but I've traded for my fair share of late first rounders. And, the perception is like kind of true because it's like, you're late in the first round. You're not getting a top 5 pick for sure, but you're still in the first round. I mean, you're still getting really good talent there. And there are a couple teams in this league that have made a pretty good living picking at the back of the first round, so that's another guideline, another just tip. I guess it's more of a tip than anything. Is the last pick of the first round is worth less than the first pick of the second round. Third, don't count on, do not count on a rookie's rookie year when you're trying to project and you're trying to pick players, okay? Do not count on the rookie year. And I'm going to tell you why. And this is just something that I live by. This is not anything that I've ever heard from anybody else. This is just me. There are so few rookies ever that are going to lead you to a championship, help you win a championship. Rookies are so inconsistent. Some rookies have great years, some don't. But even the rookies that have good years, it's not like they're, you know, hitting it big every single week. That's just not the way it goes. I mean, who won Rookie of the Year last year? It was like Garrett Wilson. Okay, well, he had 1,100 yards receiving and like, what, 3 touchdowns or something like that. And you're like, oh, yeah, Garrett Wilson's the best. Well, Garrett Wilson is very good. You know what I mean? He's very good. But going into the year, going into any rookie's year, I never project, hey, what are they going to do for me this year? I try to ask myself, okay, well, this person got drafted, and maybe there's another starter ahead of them. Maybe there isn't. I don't know. But is that starter going to be there the year after? Or is that player going to be just in a better position in year 2 to help my team win? I don't know. That's just very important things that I look at when projecting rookies, when trying to draft rookies, is I'm not really looking for year 1 as much as I'm looking for the career. You know what I mean? It's hard to project a career, but that's really what I'm trying to do, though. Like I took Javonte Williams 2 years ago, and yeah, he got hurt. But 2 years ago, it was like, well, they have Melvin Gordon there, which is what, if Melvin Gordon wasn't there, Javonte is probably the first overall, maybe the second overall pick. But I love Javonte because I'm like, well, Melvin Gordon isn't going to be there for more than a year or two, So I was absolutely in love with Javonte, and I'm still in love with Javonte. And I know he got hurt last year, but I think he's poised to come back. But that's just one example of what I'm talking about. The example of what I'm talking about is Marshawn Lynch, actually. Boggs and I, again, shared that dynasty team a long time ago. We took Marshawn Lynch a long time ago when Marshawn Lynch was like, he was a rookie, and he got drafted by the Bills, and the Bills already had a running back. And, yeah, it was like, well, Marshawn Lynch is, like, really, really good. So I don't think it fucking matters. So we're going to take Marshawn Lynch, and we did. And, yeah, turned out okay. So, okay, next. That's 3. No tight end in the first round. Last pick of the first round is worth less than the first pick of the second round. And then don't count on the rookie year. Next, very important. This is probably my number 1 on my list. Do not follow average draft position, ADP. Do not follow ADP when it comes to rookies. Ever. ADP is always wrong when it comes to rookies. Always. Every time. And it's not even close. It's not even like, oh, well, they were off by a couple picks. You know what I mean? Oh, well, this guy would have been here and this guy would have been here. No. It's like, well, this guy was taken in the fucking 3rd round. Okay, over here, he would be a first-round pick. This dude was taken in the 2nd round. He'd be a first-round pick. This dude was taken 2nd overall. He'd be a 3rd-round pick. When you look at drafts a couple years later, holy shit. Like, guys, if you get bored, you have some time on your hands, go through our email chains from a few years ago, our rookie drafts from a few years ago, and really just look at them and be like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. And I know, I talked to a couple people about this, a couple owners about this. Me, I'm not saying I hit on every pick, because I don't hit on every pick, but one thing I do, I always get the guy that I want. Always. I always get the guy that I think is going to be the best guy. And that's really important. It is really important because, first of all, you you might not be getting the absolute best guy, but you're getting the best guy to you, and maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't, but you can at least learn from it instead of just, following whatever it is that everybody else is doing, make your own pick and learn from it if it doesn't work out. And maybe it does work out. If it does work out, you get to say, hey, I fucking called that. You know what I mean? Um, there's like not a better feeling in the world than telling the world, hey, this is who I want. This is who I think is going to be the best. And then 2 years, 3 years, 4 years later, they are the best. There's almost not a better feeling in the world. But I think it's super important because it's so hard to trade back into rookie drafts. When you're in a rookie draft, some trades get made. Most of the time, it's second and third rounders where these trades are being made. It's really hard to trade back into the first round during a rookie draft. So if you have, say, the fifth pick of the first round and you also have the fifth pick of the second round, well, this is not an ordinary free agent auction, or a redraft, where you have all these players. This is a rookie draft. There are only so many players out there that are going to be significant or have an impact on anybody's team. You know what I mean? So it's super important to me that I don't follow consensus and I follow what I think is true. Again, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But you know what? If you follow ADP, more times than not, it's just not going to work out because ADP is always wrong. Okay, last but not least, also very, 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 very important to me. And this, I literally say this to myself anytime I'm going to make a sketchy pick where I'm just like, oh, fuck, like, what am I doing here? I always tell myself, always, and this is something that Boggs and I learned together, again, the cream always rises to the top. Always. Situation matters. It does. I'm not sitting here telling you that it doesn't matter. But the best players play. That's it. And that's super important even after you've drafted somebody. Somebody could be in the league for 2 years and, dealt with maybe a couple injuries and whatever. But, going into year 3, it's like, well, I don't know, cream always rises to the top. Perfect example, maybe not a fair example, but I think it's a perfect example, is Trey Lance. Trey Lance. He was drafted as, the third overall pick. Okay, he didn't start because they had Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay, that's fine. They had Jimmy G. They wanted to sit him for a year. And then he played year 2. He gets hurt. Okay? You know what? I'm never trying to, I'm never wishing anybody gets hurt. Whatever. Brock Purdy comes in for the last 6 games, plays pretty good. So now it's the offseason this year, and they're literally saying, no, Brock Purdy is our guy. Brock Purdy is our guy. All that tells me is, okay, well, Trey Lance is obviously, even with his legs, not as good as Brock Purdy. And that's like a huge red flag for me. And that's the point I'm trying to make. You have players in every draft, every single draft, that get taken in the second, third round in the NFL draft, and then they fall to like the third round, or maybe even undrafted in rookie drafts. Another example is Aaron Jones. I took Aaron Jones in the third round. Well, Aaron Jones was like, third, fourth round pick, but you watched him in the preseason, and it was like, holy fuck, this dude is so good. I take Aaron Jones because I'm like, no, this dude is the dude. You know what I mean? Terry McLaurin, same thing. Like, dude, Terry McLaurin was really good in college. He gets taken in the second, maybe the third round in the NFL draft. Like, dude, somebody believed in this motherfucker, and he comes out and he's just the wide receiver one. The point I'm trying to make is there are rookies who maybe are buried in a depth chart by one or two or three or four players. Hopefully not four. But no, like one or two players. You know what I mean? You get these players that are just buried. Well, you know what? If you believe in the talent, just take them. Take them. The cream always rises to the top. Always. It's never, ever, ever not happened that way. So those are just, 5 things, 5 rules, guidelines, I guess, that I live by when it comes to the rookie draft. I'm not saying they're right and I'm not saying they're wrong, but that's what I do. So just want to make this video. Thought it'd be fun, just to get a little insight of how I, do things for the rookie draft. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. And yeah, good luck everybody to drafting rookies in a few weeks. So see you later.